Hello, YouTube.
Hey.
It's your boy Melvin, and I'm here with my significant other, better half, boyfriend, awesome boyfriend extraordinaire, Alex. And we're going to answer some of your questions that y'all posted on my last video. Okay. How did you and your boyfriend meet?
We met at Starbucks. That's the official story. In real life, we met on a website called OkCupid. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a terrible place to meet somebody. But I met Melvin. We hit it off fairly quickly. I screen grabbed our first message to each other. I messaged first. And it kind of just went from there. We finally set up like a date and met in person, and that was a really awesome experience when I saw him for the first time at this restaurant. I was coming down a flight of stairs, and the minute I saw him just kind of sitting there with his bow tie, I just knew that he was going to be that guy, and I wasn't wrong.
Aww. Yes. What was your experience of finding out I was trans?
Okay, so I'm a journalist by trade, and that means I'm nosy. And especially with online dating and living in the catfish era and with people scamming and that being like a thing, I wanted to know what I was getting into. And I kind of just traced his screen name on OkCupid down a social media trail and found his Instagram and his Facebook and his YouTube.
And my Tumblr.
And your Tumblr. And so he didn't get a chance to tell me he was trans. I kind of just found out.
Yeah, we were texting. When did you tell me that you knew I was trans? We were talking on the phone. You called me before we had our first date.
Yeah.
What did you say to me? I forgot.
Oh, so I said that I looked at your YouTube videos.
Oh, that's right.
I found your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But I made it a point not to watch too many. I can't remember which. Because then I was like, oh, I'm probably doing too much. Once I realized what was going on, I didn't want to delve too deep into his personal life before getting to know him. And so I stopped watching the videos. And I also shared my YouTube channel with him so that I could feel like, I have to extend a hand and some vulnerability here. If like he's gonna put some information out there like that that's pretty sensitive in some circles.
I'm the old-fashioned type. I like to get to know someone organically without looking at their social media, but Alex is the opposite.
I'm the mistrusting type, the leery, the suspicious.
Yeah.
I have resting side eye is what my friends tell me. And so I tend to be more on the lookout and trying to protect my heart.
So how did you feel that you found out I was trans without me telling you? Did you feel like you were angry or
no,
that I didn't tell you?
No, because it wasn't your business to tell me off the bat. Luckily, I had been following some trans folks on YouTube and had seen their stories and seen the concerns that they have and seen things from other people's perspective. I also never thought that not telling someone your business made you a liar or made you dishonest or disingenuous, especially as being someone who grew up a closeted gay black man or someone not fully aware of their sexuality for the good part of my early life. And being a private person in general, I have things that I don't necessarily feel the need to share with people. That doesn't mean I'm ashamed of them. It's just, I think there's a time and a place for everything. And we hadn't even gone on a date yet. So what would be the point in you sharing something that's relevant but also not in certain aspects of dating at certain stages? Because if you're if the moment you start dating somebody, the first thing you're thinking about is sex and things of that nature, then I don't think you're really looking for the same thing as far as dating. You're looking for a hookup, and there are places to do that.
What do you both appreciate about each other? I think there's a long list of things I appreciate about Alex. But I would say the thing I appreciate the most about him is his thoughtfulness, and he is very attentive, and he does think sometimes, I'm just like, how did he remember this one little detail about something that I like? He's really thoughtful. That's what I like the most about him, or one of the things I like the most about him.
Oh, so what was the question again? Sorry, I got lost in your eyes. Was it the things we appreciate most?
Yeah, what do you both appreciate the most about each other?
I appreciate your style, your honesty, your compassion. I think you are a very self-actualized person, and I admire that. You are willing to care for other people. The one thing I appreciate the most. Oh, gosh, dang, your style.
My style.
Yes.
Thank you. This question's from Trell. What's the most challenging for both of y'all, and what comes with ease in the new relationship?
I don't want to speak for you, but for me, trust. There are lots of people who project that they want to be the person you rely on, that like will say certain things about like you can count on me, you can trust me, you can tell me whatever, but they don't actually mean that. Actually literally being there for somebody, actually literally going through thick and thin with somebody is a completely different ball game. And for me, regardless of what that person's intentions are and how truthful they may be, it's going to take time for me to fully trust, rely, and open myself up to them. And that doesn't mean I'm not willing to or don't want to, but it's just a process. I think for a lot of people who have found themselves in pain multiple times or have had life experiences that lead them to be a bit more mistrusting, even when the good thing comes along, it's just going to take a while to get adjusted and used to.
Sorry, what comes with ease in a relationship?
Having fun.
I would agree, yes. Having fun, smiling, good times. This guy's a jokester. He did something, he cracked himself up for like 5 or 10 minutes straight.
Oh gosh, I couldn't breathe.
You just, were just laughing. I didn't think he was going to stop laughing for a while. I wish I got it on video. It was the most epic laugh I'd ever heard. That was great.
I love to laugh, and so does he, and we have fun together.
That was
and
great.
I appreciate that we can be silly together.
I love that you can be silly with me.
Yeah.
Any advice for those who are still looking?
Don't settle. Ever. 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 Because if you do, you'll be in a relationship, but then you'll be in another one. And 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 what good does that do? Because you're not going to be happy in the one that you're with. You're going to try, but then you're going to realize at some point that it's not working and it's not worth your happiness. So just save yourself the time and energy and heartache and just do you. Become the most actualized and awesome you that you can be. Build great friendships. Strengthen your family relationships. Be a kick-ass person at work. And the rest falls into place.
I co-sign what he said. Also, if you're a trans person, I know that it can be really frustrating dating. I think that when I was going through it, I found it difficult to maintain at times my own self-esteem and sense of self-worth because of getting rejected. My advice is to really reach out to a community. What was really helpful for me, I had a friend who I was really venting to, and I was like, I think I'm just done with dating. This was Alyssa. This was a month before I met you. And I was like, there's no one out here. I'm done. And she said, you're going to find someone, and you're awesome, and she gave me a great pep talk. I forgot what it was in particular, but it was a great pep talk that left me feeling better about myself. So I would say reaching out to your community, they can be really good for people to vent to. So that's my advice. I would love to hear your boyfriend's view on FTM guys and gay scenes. Has he noticed that it's hard for trans guys? If so, does he have an idea or opinion of why it's so unaccepted, other than genitalia reasons?
It's hard to not reference the genitalia reason because most of the time they're just thinking about dating in a sexual context. I think the rejection comes from partly the genitalia, but also just masculinity. It can be hard enough for feminine guys who are cis to find acceptance in gay circles, or especially with gay dating. I can't even imagine what it would be like by somebody who is still, in the eyes of a lot of cis people, seen as a woman. I think it would honestly be how masculine they read. I think that would determine part of their acceptance. Like, I've noticed like some trans guys like who are the famous like Shane Ortega's or the Leif Ashleys who read as incredibly masculine and also very good looking, very muscular, or like Black Angel. They get praise and they get acceptance, and they're seen as desirable because of their masculine features. I don't think somebody like maybe Chase would necessarily fit in the exact same way.
Let's see, when I accepted my gender orientation, I went through a longer period where I worried my sexuality was not authentic because I was both envious and desired other men, as opposed to my interest in women, which was more genuine, as I was a man. I wanted to know how you reconciled that and or dealt with a lot of naysayers who might have made you out to be a straight woman. That's an excellent question.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking that. I think that when I first started being more open about being gay and being primarily attracted to men, a lot of folks were either confused by it or felt that this attraction wasn't genuine because a lot of trans guys just want to look like these guys. They're not attracted to him. Once I started taking testosterone, I think that I just really accepted that I had this sexual attraction to men, but this more romantic or emotional attraction to women. Over time, that changed, and I gradually lost the emotional romantic attraction I had to women, and my attraction to men became more than sexual, became emotional and romantic. And to folks, I had family members who were confused by this, felt that because I was a trans man, that I was a man, that obviously I would be attracted to women, and my mom had a similar reaction. And what I said to her was that, there are men who are attracted to men, and sexual orientation is different from gender identity, and I just really tried to make it really plain and simple. It took me a long time for me to accept that I was attracted to men romantically and emotionally and not attracted to women the same way. I think the moment that I knew that this attraction to men was genuine and my attraction to women was no longer was when I was dating this woman, and we were really hitting it off. We spent a lot of time together, and we'd been dating for about a month, and we had not even kissed each other. And I realized that I was not interested in kissing her, even though she was totally my type, and I enjoyed spending time with her. I eventually realized I just wanted to be her friend. And so I think after I came to that realization, I was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to give up on trying to date women because I don't want these relationships to really go any further past a friendship. And we have one final question that came via text message from my barber. Her question is, how does it work for you to go from being a masculine lesbian to now fully transitioned and be a gay male? Well, part of it was answered in my last response. I also want to say that I never identified as a masculine lesbian. I never was one to embrace the stud femme binary when I was dating. That's just a stud femme binary.
Nice.
When I was dating, and the folks I dated, for the most part, were neither studs nor femmes either. So,
and just to piggyback off of that, in case anyone is wondering, I never preferred feminine or masculine dudes more than one or the other.
I have a question for you, Alex.
All right.
So on one of the responses to my last video where I talked about gay FTM dating experiences, there were some folks who said that gay cisgender men who date trans men aren't really gay. They can't be gay because they're dating trans men and they're not real men. So what would you say in response to that?
I am dating a man. I wouldn't be gay if I wasn't dating a man, and I am dating a man, and I am gay. People's ideas of gender kind of preclude their ability to open their eyes to what the reality is in front of them about the world being a bit more messy than they think it is.
Well, I think these folks would define man by a penis.
That's not what defines a man. There's some cis guys without penises, so...
I'd be trying to tell people that, but they don't want to hear it. Hey, what's up, y'all? So there's one more question that I received that I answered when I was with Alex, but I thought my response was a little incomplete, so I wanted to give myself a second chance to respond. The question was dating cisgender men my first choice in dating partners? The answer is no. In my original response, I talked about how I wasn't really checking for cisgender men because they weren't really checking for me. I was jaded after being repeatedly rejected by them, and I made a pact with myself that I was never going to initiate anything with any of them ever again. And that's all true, but I also think there's something to be said for transgender people loving each other. I actually prefer dating trans folks because, one, trans people are sexy. Two, I also think it's really nice to date someone and not have to explain things or educate about trans issues. My last boyfriend was trans, and I've dated other trans folks as well, and I think that there's a certain comfort and familiarity that comes with dating a trans person that's nice to have in a relationship. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, please share this video with others you think will be interested in this topic. I do have another segment for my channel coming up in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, peace.